Well, folks, the country is opening up once again after severe disruptions we saw over the last year. But the stimulus of the past year, coupled with the growing economy, is causing some problems out there, some shortages we experienced, meaning higher prices. In fact, the Labor Department has reported the fastest pace of inflation since 2008, which is remarkable. And of course, here to help us talk our way through this, which is very important, is certified financial planner professional and your financial quarterback, Jim Lineweaver. How are you today?
Great. How you doing, Dave?
Well, I'm doing great. So give us a little background about inflation, because it seems like it's a long time since I remember any, and it's going to affect us.
It really is, and we're all starting to feel it. But we have to differentiate between reflation or transitory inflation and inflation. They're really kind of two different things. Because in reflation, it can be seen as possibly temporary. So it's when usually we're coming out of a bad period like this, or we're trying to get the economy started again. We're going to see prices jump up because there is a big difference between supply and demand. However, inflation is usually at a time when the economy is growing a lot stronger. We're almost at maybe very low employment, or maybe half of where we are at today. So two totally different types of ways that people get affected in their kind of cash flow and pocketbook, but both you have to really keep an eye on for your portfolio.
Well, here we go. So how do people see that affecting their finances in a day-to-day way?
Well, it's higher prices, unfortunately. So when we go to the grocery store, there's higher food inflation and prices that you have to pay for. If anybody's dealing with any housing issues or lumber, that's up over 400% over the last year. Gas is now around $3 a gallon compared to a little over $2 a gallon, about a year ago. And even just last week, Sherwin-Williams announced that they're going to be increasing their paint prices because of higher raw material costs. And also Chipotle even recently announced that they're going to be going to about a 4% increase in their food to their consumers because they have to cover the higher wages of employees.
So it covers everything from A to Z. Like, I got a little project here, I got a price on it, and in 3 weeks the price doubled. I mean, that's unbelievable. And Chipotle, I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, it really is. Shopkick, which is a retail marketing app, surveyed 19,000 consumers recently about their experience with inflation, and 86% of them said they had noticed inflation with price increases. But more importantly, they said 83% plan to tighten their belts because of it. That could actually slow down this recovery because we have to be careful. But don't forget, average inflation is running about 3% on average. But people don't understand that if your money is in your savings account and it's not making that much for you, it's actually decreasing by 3% per year. And that can affect a lot of people, especially in retirement.
So we don't want to holler fire in the theater right now, but how do we protect these hard-earned assets? I mean, we're planning our retirement. How do we protect it?
Right. Well, basically, you can look at 4 different ways to protect your portfolio and stuff and your money against inflation. The first one is you can look at different asset classes like real estate. So if you don't want to go out and own properties yourself, you can look at real estate investment trusts or ETFs that invest in those as a good inflation hedge. You can also look at investing in commodities, and they're a great way to hedge against inflation because where does inflation really start? It starts in those raw materials, and you can invest in those through commodities. As a matter of fact, we just recently added those to our portfolios as an additional hedge against inflation. But you also have some classic things out there. You can look at Treasury inflation protected securities, which are TIPS, and they actually go up as inflation increases. And then lastly, you can also, and it seems counterintuitive, but invest in stocks, and hopefully ones that pay a good dividend that increase their dividends over time. Another great way to hedge against inflation.
Yeah, so now's not a time to be thinking about it. Now's the time to be doing something about it. And is it too late? Is there still time?
Oh, there's still time. Yeah, it's always hindsight. It's always 2020, but you want to be proactive. You want to be with an investment team that's proactive. That's why we've already made 3 adjustments to our portfolio so far this year to try to combat this inflation and what we see. We've also made shifts over to the value side of stocks compared to growth, which are now out of favor, and values coming back in. So you need somebody that's going to be proactive and kind of get ahead of this. But if you haven't done it so far, you need to do it immediately because it's going to affect your portfolio.
Yeah, so the word is proactive rather than reactive. And this is the time to really do something about it while you still have a chance to do something about it. And if you have questions about your portfolio or your retirement and you want to prepare for this rising inflation, you better give Jim Lineweaver and his team a call right now, and they'll be able to help you out. He is the financial quarterback. And thanks for joining us today on New Day Cleveland.
Thank you, Dave. Good seeing you.